Mark 1, chapter 6, verse 16 through 20. And as he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea. For they were fishermen. And Jesus said to them, "Follow me, and I'll make you become fishers of men." They immediately left their nets and followed him. When they had gone a little farther from there, he saw James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, who also were in the boat mending their nets. And immediately he called to them, and they left their father Zebedee in the boat with their hired servant, and went after him. I can almost see it now. Jesus walking by the seashore. You can hear the waves crashing on the beach, and on the ships that were there. You can almost feel the mist hit your face. You can hear the birds in the air. Who would have known for those four men, their life was going to change forever? It had not felt different than any other day. And yet, there stands Jesus before them. I want you to notice something about the first two men that Jesus sees. They were casting their nets. Jesus needs fishermen like that. Those ones who are willing to go out and fish. Those ones willing to share the gospel. Those ones willing to share their testimony. Those ones willing to go anywhere to share their faith. Those ones willing to hand out tracts. Those ones willing to go to foreign lands and tell about Jesus. Those ones willing to cast out their nets day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Willing to cast out their nets whether they were successful or not. Jesus needs fishers of men like this. Willing to share the gospel, whether they'll be accepted or rejected. Willing to fish in deep waters where there's plenty of fish, or willing to fish in shallow water where there's few fish. But most of all, he needs fishers of men who are willing to go where the fish are, not letting the fish come to them. When he found these two men, he found men that were willing to do that. Willing to go the distance to be fishers of men. But he also seen two other brothers. Two other ones that he came face to face with. It says there they were mending their nets in the boat. The reason you mend a net is you want to keep what you caught, right? Jesus needs fishermen like that. God needs people who will mend. To make sure those ones who've been saved will stay in church, will stay in fellowship with other believers. These fishers of men sometimes have to mend relationships. They have to mend broken hearts. They have to mend hurtful words. They have to mend hurt feelings. You see, God uses all kinds of individuals. He uses our strengths and our weaknesses. We don't all have the same gift. We don't all have the same talent. But God can use each and every one of us. In your kitchen, I can imagine there are some appliances. I have a refrigerator and a microwave and a toaster. They're all plugged into the same power, but they all do different things. So it is with us Christians. We all have different talents, all have different gifts, all have different things that God has called us to do. yet we should all be plugged into the same source. Follow me, Jesus says, and I will make you become fishers of men. Jesus says, follow me. You're not just following a set of rules. You're not just following a set of teachings. You're not just following a set of principles. You are following a person. And that person is Jesus. The problem is, people start following something else, like laws or traditions. Or they start following someone else, like a preacher, or a loved one, or a parent, or a spouse. As good as those things may be, they're nothing compared to Jesus. Jesus takes all the responsibilities. He will make us become fishers of men. He will teach us what we need to learn to become fishers of men. He will give us everything we need to fulfill the calling on our life. Whatever He's called you to do, He will help you achieve it. He will give you all the tools you need to accomplish it. Yes, when we follow Him. And we have to follow Him. There's 3 simple ways that Jesus makes us fisher of men. Very simple. First, they followed Him. Then they listened to Him. And then they did what He said. Pretty simple, isn't it? You want to become a fisher of men? You want to become that one who will go out and do what God tells you to do? Then obey these 3 rules. Follow Him, listen to Him, and do what He says. He called them, and they left their father Zebedee in the boat with their hired servants, and they went after Him. These 4 guys left their family, their home, their job, to follow Jesus. They left everything they knew to follow Him. I don't know what Jesus is asking you to do. I don't know what Jesus is asking you to give up. I don't know what He's calling you to do. But I know this. And I know this without a shadow of a doubt. Ain't none of us doing all that we can for Him. God has called us all to do something. We have a purpose. There is no insignificant people in the plan of God. God has a plan and a purpose for each and every one of us. We all have a job to do in the kingdom of God. I also know that whatever we give up, whatever we sacrifice, whatever we surrender, He is worth it all. Somewhere along the line in Peter's life, Jesus took Peter from being a fisherman to being a fisher of men and turned him into a shepherd. Wow. Because in John 21, Jesus told him to feed my lambs, tend my sheep, and feed my sheep. See, what God may want you in your life to do may be something totally different than you've ever been. He may want you to do something that you've never done before. He may want you to go someplace you've never been before. Whatever He wants you to do, I ask you to follow Him. Now, what will God do in your life? How will He change your path? I'm sure on that day, they thought it was just an ordinary day. And yet their life was changed forever. And they were willing even at the end to die for what they believed and what they saw. What will you allow Him to do in your life? What is it called? calling you today, will you answer? Will you answer his call? Will you surrender to what he's calling you to do? It may be something simple. It may be something that you may think, well, it's just something very easy. And it may be something hard. It may be something that he's asking you to do and you're getting you out of your comfort zone. But whatever he's asking you to do, will you answer? Because trust me, today he's asking. He's come to where you are. And he's asking you. You see, for these 4 men, it was personal. I'm sure there were other boats there and other fishermen there, but he spoke to those. Maybe nobody else heard the invitation that he gave, follow me. But they did. And maybe today, no one else is hearing what you're hearing. Maybe God is not speaking to anyone else but you. But he's speaking to you. So in a moment, we're going to have an invitation. This is not my invitation. This is not the church's invitation. This is Jesus' invitation. His invitation to you. Let's all stand.